Oh, Sack Life beat depression is day 878, and I feel great. And today, we're going to keep it that way with another somatic healing session to wipe out depression. Thank you so much, everybody, for being here now. Anyone who's tuning in later, as you can see, it is snowing. It's ice cold out here in Buena Vista, Colorado. So, we're going to do our best to blaze right through this show nice and efficiently so that I don't wind up with frostbite, because it is bitterly cold. But as you know, it is a martial arts or mental health show. It is day 17 of our 21 days of gratitude, and we like to focus in on that powerful mental health tool, gratitude first. Gratitude going out today to the first one in Silky One. Thanks so much for being here. Appreciate you. And also want to shout out gratitude to Zentai Martial Arts for putting together this 21 days of gratitude movement. Shout out to Lance and the Trance for being here. And for anybody else who's tuning in now or later. We're going to roll right along. Think about your piece of gratitude for the day. That'll put you in that positive mindset as we move into the lesson. Second mental health tool we're going to talk about is progress tracking. Keeping track of your number of days that you show up for yourself and accomplish your daily goal. Make it something you can accomplish, something you can look forward to. This is mine. I look forward to it every day. Getting in at least that 10-minute core of progress and success out here, crushing my daily goal. And it's been 878 days of proof that no matter what is happening, I'm going to be able to accomplish that goal. This number tool is one of the things that allows me to come to you in the freezing cold, in the storm, from a broken down bus in the middle of Colorado, and know that no matter what, we're going to crush that goal today together. We're going to move forwards and give ourselves proof of our mental resiliency, give ourselves proof of our strength and endurance out here, no matter what is trying to stop us or tell us otherwise, be it depression, anxiety, society, stigma, whatever it is, anything that's trying to hold you back, you can give yourself the proof that you are stronger than that noise and tune into that truth and keep yourself going. So please do keep track of that number. If you got a big one, share it with others. It's a great way to inspire them and motivate them to make progress and move forwards in their lives. And we're going to roll right along. Silky One said thank you. I appreciate you. Appreciate you too. Thank you so much for being here. Along with Lisa the Luminary, thanks for being here as well. We're going to have our standard 3 rounds, 3 minutes each. 1 minute breaks to catch your breath and drink some water and check in on you. And today, as day 17 of our 21 days of gratitude, we're going to add in a new kick, because we're doing kicks to the end of this session. You guys have been equipped with hands, elbows, knees, and the push kick. Lead push, rear push kick, lead teep, rear teep. Today we're going to do the classic roundhouse. Nice body roundhouse kick. It's going to be very dangerous for me on uneven, icy terrain out here. Don't do this. This is not the ideal training ground. Get yourself something smooth and flat, preferably in a dojo on a padded surface, padded mat, so you don't roll an ankle. But I'm going to break down that roundhouse kick. Shout out to Soul Traveler. Thank you for being here. I'm going to break down that roundhouse kick very quickly for you, and then we're going to jump right into the 3-round lesson. No boombox. I'm hoping it doesn't get wet where it's at. It's not waterproof, so this is the best I can do today. Promise to be here every day to support your growth. If you show up for you, I will be here to support you, and we can move forwards together, motivating and inspiring one another. That's what it's all about. So let's break down that roundhouse kick from Muay Thai position. Squared hips, squared shoulders. Visualize that target in front of you. Guard nice and high. Whoa, can't see. Yeah, guard nice and high by the brow line. What we're going to do in our balanced Muay Thai position is this lead foot is going to step off the line, opening up the hip. We're going to plant the ball of the foot. Remember, keep the knees bent, weights on the ball of the foot. Plant the ball of the foot slightly off the line, open up that hip, and then we're going to reach across the face of that enemy, and we're going to chop this hand in the opposite direction of the leg that we're kicking with. Today, it's the rear roundhouse we're going to practice. We're going to toss that, reach across the face of that opponent, and then we're going to shift our weight forwards and toss that foot right through the center mass of that opponent. Visualize chopping through, like you're chopping through a tree. It's a big difference between Muay Thai and other forms of martial arts. We kick through the target, not to the target. It's not a snap kick. What we want to do too here is make sure that you're rolling the hip over. So you can practice here in Muay Thai stance, just turning through the hip and chopping that arm and turning that hip over. You might not be able to see it through my pants and my jacket, but that hip is rotating. I'm turning through the hip rotating, and that hip rotation is what gives us the right angle. We want to make contact with the shin, not the foot. Landing higher towards the top of that shin is going to be ideal to do maximum damage and take minimum damage to yourself. And like I said, we want to make sure we roll that hip over. So let's cover it one more time. Step off the line, open up the hip, reach across the face. Now it's time to turn that hip over and chop through, turning all the way through, tossing that foot up and around, and really focus on rolling that hip so that you can chop through in proper roundhouse position. That's the fastest breakdown I can give you today in this freezing cold storm. We'll do a more in-depth one. If the weather's better tomorrow, we'll get into some more roundhouses for the rest of the week. So shout out to Maria Brown as well. But hopefully you picked up on that and you've got those other tools for the last couple of days to use in your arsenal. Now let's get into it. Let's do it. Let's start making progress. Standard round, 3 rounds, 3 minutes each. 1 minute breaks to catch your breath. Check in on you. Make sure you're drinking water. You're not pushing too hard. It's even colder. And you're showing up for yourself to give yourself a challenge. Remember, our goal is mental health, so you don't want to push too hard, and you don't want to take it too easy where you fall into boredom. Find that flow zone in between, and you'll be able to grow every single day. All right, let's do it. Visualize your target as a physical embodiment of that thing you're fighting against. Be it depression or anxiety, make it that depression or anxiety dummy. Square up with them in Muay Thai stance, guard high by the brow line, and start with the fundamentals, the jab and the cross. Turn through the hips and shoulders. Roll those fists over, landing on that visualized target, right? Think about accuracy. Think about form. Think about flowing in there. And push into your level. You can use that teep kick that we developed just the other day. Lead teep, bong. Rear teep, bong. And today we're going to be adding in that roundhouse. So let's start getting into it. Give yourself a little warm up here. Working those hands. Work the knees. Work those different tools that we've got. Let's get that body moving. Blood pumping. And now we're going to add in that roundhouse. So for the roundhouse kick, step off that line, opening up the hips. Reach across the face of the opponent. And we're going to roll that hip over and toss it right through. Chopping right through, following all the way around, rotating on the ball of that lead foot. Keeping it nice and balanced. Don't lean over. Don't lose your balance. Keep your torso nice and straight, right? Hips curled. Shoulders rolled. Guard high by the brow line. Roundhouse kick. Step off the line. Opening up the hip. Reach across the face. Chop. And roll through. Rotating on the ball of that lead foot. Keep going. Mix in those other tools. Make it fun. Visualize. Knocking those lies out. Of that depression dummy. Knocking out those excuses that tries to make us believe about why we can't make progress today. We're giving ourselves proof that we can. Let's go. Keep going. Work those other tools. Uppercuts. Hooks. And work in the roundhouse kick. Let's break it down some more. Step off the line. Opening up the hip. Heel is nice and light off the ground. We're going to toss through that hip, toss that leg over, bong. Making sure to turn the hip, give us proper angle, and don't fully extend that foot. We want to keep the knee slightly bent at the point of impact so that we can fully extend through the target, just like you're chopping through. So we're going to step off the line, bring the leg up. Notice the hip roll, right? If my hip's straight, then my leg is going to look like this. We're not landing on the shin. We want the hip rolled over so that we can toss through and chop through that opponent. Back to stance, guard nice and tight. Chin tuck will help a balance. Work at your pace, right? Don't compete with me. Compete with yourself. And work the roundhouse. Let's go. The more you practice, the better your balance will be. The more powerful you can make that kick. That's the end of round one. Catch your breath. Check in on you. Make sure you're doing all right. Shout out to Slayer Ken for sharing your progress at 486 days. Crushing it out there. Good stuff. Woo! We got 47 seconds. We're going to hit round two. Make sure you're not pushing too hard. Holy moly, it's cold. Yowza. All right. We're going to keep this thing going. Remember, visualize that target, land with accuracy. When you're tossing these roundhouse kicks, we're going for center mass. We're going for the ribs. We're just under that rib cage. Well, right in the side of the body. And we want to kind of land, step off that line and land with the leg still bent when we make contact, right? We don't want to be at full extension out here. That's not the end of the kick. The kick's going to end through the opponent. So you want to have that leg still bent. You can practice stepping off that line and just bringing the leg up and turning the hip over without following through, just to kind of get that muscle memory built up. Let's do that a couple times. Step off the line, open up the hip, bring the knee up, turn the hip over. And you're chopping the hand just like you would for the kick, but we're not following through. Bring the leg back. Balance nice and centered, chin tucked, right? Work those other tools. And toss the roundhouse kick in there. Whoosh, roundhouse. Making sure to turn that hip over. And start thinking about how to link it together with other movements. When we're tossing that roundhouse, we want to reach across here and chop that arm, right? So that reach across is very similar to the cross. So a cross is a good tool to add to cover up your incoming roundhouse kick. Toss that cross in there, and right from there, make sure your front leg's opened up. You're off the line, and we can toss the hip right from there. One. Toss that roundhouse kick through center mass. And keep that combo going. Like I said the other day, when we're doing kicks, they're big movements. They're going to have a lot of tell to them, right? Shoom. Someone's going to see that coming from a mile away unless they're untrained. And that's why we want to cover up those kicks with punches. Whoosh, whoosh, whoosh. Keep it going. Whoosh, whoosh. Let's go. Exhale on those strikes. And push at your level. Remember, you can moderate pace, intensity, volume. All those things let you challenge yourself to you. You can add in movement, right? Boom, 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 boom. Horizontal and vertical movement. Stepping in, getting closer, getting further away. And then practice that roundhouse. Stepping off the center line, plant the ball of the foot, reach across the face, toss, rolling that hip over, toss through the opponent and all the way around. Back to your orthodox stance. Hush, hush, hush. If you can't get it right away, don't worry about it. It'll come with time. Go nice and slow and do the half movement, right? Boom, boom, boom. Step off the line, bring the hip up, turning it over without the full extension. And bring it back. Whoosh, whoosh, whoosh. It's going to train that muscle memory. Let's go. Always visualize the opponent. And visualize making contact where you want to. Bum, bum, bum. Toss that cross and follow the cross up with the roundhouse for the cover up. Whoosh, boom, right there. Whoosh, whoosh, whoosh. Toss the cross. And we're going to use the cross to set up that arm chop for the roundhouse. Open up the leg. Open up the hip. Chop through. Boom. And back to stance. Bang, bang, bang. Has to end around 2. Catch your breath. Drink some water. Shout out to Vila, Kev, and Rain 1083. Thank you for being here. Appreciate you guys. Appreciate your support. We got 50 seconds. We're going to pop into our final shadowboxing session. Get creative with it. That's what it's all about. It's about empowering you with tools that you can use to train yourself, to empower yourself to fight forward every day. It's not about what I'm doing. It's about what you're doing for you and how we can show up together to motivate and benefit one another. 30 seconds left. Drink some water. Catch your breath. Then we're going to hit this final round where you can use all those tools. You're already equipped with a little taste of all 8 limbs in the art of Muay Thai. You can put all those tools together that we've been practicing for the last 17 days and really give yourself a creative routine that never gets boring, because there's always new ways to learn, new combos to create, new movements, new techniques to find once you're equipped with all the tools. All right, let's get into it. Visualize that target and work what you want to work here. Bam, bam, bam. If you want to just throw hands, but make sure you're giving yourself a challenge. within that. You can work on balance, right? You go nice and slow, work on balance, work on form, or you can work on that pace, pick up the pace, double up the jabs and crosses, and you can work on advancing with the jab, advancing punches or retreating punches. You can work on just elbows. Let's go. We've got a lot of different elbow strikes that we've prepped ourselves with in just these 17 days. Hey, keep it moving. Work those knees in there. Boom. Straight knee. Angle knee. Bring it around. Angle knee. Hey. Keep it balanced. Work the kicks. We got the teep. Lead teep, rear teep. And now the roundhouse kick. Let's go. Toss it through. Center mass. Stay nice and balanced. Pivot. On the ball of the foot. And throw that roundhouse kick in there. You could throw it low. You could go for the hamstrings, the quads, right? Toss it nice and low. Or you can toss it towards center mass. We're practicing for the body kick. There's other techniques. It's going to come when we're working with low kicks. But for the body kick, step off that line, reach across, chop, and roll. Roll through that hip. Make sure the hip roll is there so you can get the right angle on the shin. And let's do it. Chop right through that depression dummy. Roundhouse. Back to stance. Give yourself the challenge you deserve so you can keep growing every day. Hey. Don't worry if you lose balance. Just reset. See where you can improve. Right? That cross. Let's keep going. Roundhouse. It will become more fluid the more you practice it. And that's the end. Woo! Round 3. Yeah. Gave myself a challenge. I hope you gave yourself a challenge too. I hope you're finding ways to grow every day. Woo, to your skill level. That's kind of one of the beautiful things about martial arts and about this program is that we're not competing with each other. We're not trying to catch up or go super high intensity. Almost. We're just training for mental health. So the goal here is to show yourself that you're capable of moving forwards each and every day and give yourself that proof of your resiliency. No matter what challenges come your way, you can show up and grow through them. Grow through what you go through at your skill level. Right? Even if you can't move, even if you can't get out of your chair, you could do an adaptive session where you work the hands, work the elbows from the waist up. There's always a way forwards. No matter what your brain or your body is telling you, there is still a way forwards. I know when I was dealing with my most depressive states, I could not see it, and it didn't matter what anybody said to me. It didn't matter how many people told me that it could get better. I couldn't see it. I couldn't accept it for myself. When I realized it was when I started doing something about it. When I started taking action, and that's when I found out for myself, hey, I'm getting stronger every day. Hey, I'm getting better. Suddenly, I don't feel as depressed. I don't feel as low anymore. Suddenly, there's no more thoughts of suicidal ideation. Suddenly, I notice I haven't been debilitated in the last X amount of days. So you're only going to know when you try. You're only going to know when you show up for yourself, you put in the work, you stick to it with consistency and dedication. That's when you'll find out how much of a benefit you can make your time for you and how far you can go. So please do show up for you every day. Whether it's with this class or with something else, we've got to find the tools that work for us as individuals, right? Your thing might be breath work. Your thing might be you know, jogging or bicycling or something like that. It could be a regular martial arts class. Doesn't have to be necessarily this one. As long as you're giving yourself a goal, a daily accomplishable goal that builds you up both mentally and physically. Find those tools that work for you. Until next time, I will catch you same sack time, same sack channel, same sack life. Sack man out.